are watching UNO with Dr. Ambrish Saxena.
Hello students, today is Wednesday 25th of September 2019. Today we will try to unfold one national, one international story. But before that, I pose a question to you. What is the population of India? And how this whole process of the counting of the people, counting the numbers of the population, how this is done. If we look at the latest figures means the figures which came out in 2011. According to that, the population of India is 121 crore, slightly more than 121 crore. And if we further go back, the population of India in the year 2001 was more than 102 crores. This means there was a rise between 2001 and 2011. So census is always done after every 10 years. This means the next census is going to happen in 2021. And already the Home Minister of India has made an announcement about that. What is the most important thing in the next census which is going to happen? That it will be a paperless exercise, and there will be an app with the help of which the whole calculations will be done, the collection of data will be done. So obviously everybody should welcome this, but then if you look at the expenditure in the last census 2011, there was an expenditure incurred of 2,200 crores, but in 2021 census it will reach 12,000 crores. So obviously this is a jump of 445%. Now looking at the other aspect of census, how many employees will be working under this? If we look at the comparable figures in the census of 1881, there were 1.2 million employees working in this whole exercise. This number increased in the next census to 1.6, that is in 1991. In 2001 it became 2 million employees, and then in the next census, that is 2011, it reached 2.7 million employees, and now in the next census 2021 it is expected to reach 3.3 million employees. So it's a huge exercise to be done. There will also be a cutoff date. Cutoff date means for Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh and Jammu and Kashmir, the cutoff date is 1st of October 2020, and for rest of the country the cutoff date is 1st of March 2021. What is meant by this cutoff date? This means this date has to be followed in terms of births and deaths. This means anybody who would have taken birth after this date is not to be counted, and then anybody who would have died before this date is also not to be counted. Initially the marking of the houses or the buildings etc. is to be done. So there is a complete data will be prepared of this state wise and district wise, and in the second phase the actual counting of numbers will be done, and this is not only the counting of numbers, all personal data of each and every citizen of the country is to be done in this exercise. Now as far as the languages is concerned, the whole exercise is to be conducted in 16 languages, and in the last census it was discovered that 121 languages are spoken in the country, and more than 19,000 dialects are spoken in the country. And once this whole exercise of census is mooted, no territorial change can be done at any level. This means no states reorganization or the district level changes, nothing can be done. Now the international story, and which has its implication in India also, in a parliamentary democracy the question is who is supreme or which organ is supreme, the legislature or the executive. This debate always happen in India also, particularly in the light of the recent developments which happened in parliament relating to Kashmir etc. Whatever bills etc. were passed by parliament at the behest of the executive. So, same kind of situation, or rather a different kind of situation, but with the same connotations is happening in UK. Now, what is happening in UK? The whole debate has been on for the 2016 on Brexit, and since 2016 number of changes in British Parliament we have seen. 3 prime ministers have changed. There was a referendum conducted in June 2016 in UK whether Britain should come out from the European Union or should not come out from the European Union. So, the then Prime Minister David Cameron, he conducted a referendum in the country. The outcome was that 51.9% people voted for scrapping ties with the European Union. David Cameron was not convinced with it. He resigned. Theresa May took over as the Prime Minister in March 2017. It was decided that within 2 years the whole details will be worked out and UK will come out from the European Union. It did not happen for so many reasons, because Parliament was coming in the way and was putting question marks on so many things which the government was working out. Finally, the deadline of March 2019 could not be worked out. Theresa May also resigned. Another Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, took over in July 2019. He said that he will go by the deadline of 31st of October for scrapping ties with the European Union. But even that is not happening, and Boris Johnson did his best, but then Parliament said that without a good deal scrapping should not be done and the Prime Minister should persuade EU for a better deal and for the extension of the deadline, for which Boris Johnson did not agree. So, there is a tussle between the Prime Minister and the legislature, that is House of Commons of Britain. Then Prime Minister tried to dissolve the House and get the election, though the elections are due in 2022. When he did not succeed into that, he attempted another measure, that he suspended the Parliament for 5 weeks by taking consent of Queen Elizabeth. But that was challenged in the Supreme Court. Yesterday, Supreme Court declared that the action of the Prime Minister was illegal. Johnson is in New York. He is coming back to London today, because from today Parliament is being resumed. So, it is a big challenge there, and then this is something which can help us in understanding whether the Parliament is supreme or the executive is supreme or the Supreme Court is supreme, and we can translate it in Indian situation to find out or to resolve or to interpret this equation between different organs of a democracy. That is all in today's edition.